What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the cab of the old street tractor. We're heading to an oh-so-familiar place to pick up some parts to fix a particular issue we're having with the AC system. So let's go ahead and get this day started. There it is, boys. If you own a second gen, Advanced Auto Parts is probably your #1 shop. It's pretty damn sure. And this box right here is something I probably should have replaced a long time ago. And let's just say, because of my stupidity and being just like everybody else, probably put a little too much Freon in this old girl last time, and I've probably caused this thing to have higher than it should, high side pressure. So what we're going to do is go back to the house, let this thing cool down a little bit, check static pressures, and see that I'm probably overcharged this thing, and we'll get into what's in the box. Alright, so if you're unfamiliar with the connection points for your second gen, I'll go ahead and show you real quick. So your low side pressure port's right there, and your high side pressure port is right there. You can actually tell because it's got a high side pressure switch right there. It's in the line. So let's take a look at our pressure static. There you go. So right now, obviously the system's got a charge to it. This is going to vary depending on ambient temperature outside. So let's go ahead and start it real quick, and let's go ahead and take a look at what our pressures are with the compressor running. Alright, so if you guys seen right there that we were seeing when it actually held, we were about 32 to 35 on the low side, but the high side pressure just kept climbing, roughly about 350, 375, almost 400 psi. So now it could be a fan clutch issue on the high side. It's not getting enough air pulled through the condenser. That's a possibility. Also, there's one other thing that I'm thinking in my head that's never been replaced, that at least I know of, that I think we need to take a look at, which is the old accumulator back there. Now the accumulator, when they're working, and you can tell this pretty quickly because they will be sweating their ass off on a hot day, kind of like you would be outside. This particular issue that I think we're having is literally, if it hasn't been replaced in the last 10 years, at least the 7 years I've owned the truck, I've never replaced it. So there's desiccant packets basically inside there, and it takes the moisture away from the Freon. Now it's a very good possibility that it is just packed full of water and it's creating a blockage in line, and it's not sweating. When those blockages are going to cause this higher side pressure. So what we're going to go ahead and do is drain the system down, and then we're going to go ahead and swap out that accumulator, and then we're going to recharge it back by weight, and we'll retest it. So let's go ahead and get this accumulator swapped out, and let's see if we see an improvement. Alright guys, so usually I time-lapse a lot of things. This particular issue really didn't think it was worthy of time-lapsing, probably should have, but here we are anyway. So first and foremost, if you're going to be doing the accumulator or any of the lines, go ahead and get one of these kits through Lyle. There's your part number right there, and this gets you everything, for the most part, that you're going to need. Now the accumulator itself requires the orange tool, which is a 3/4. Now, not really a massive job by any means. If you ever use these tools, then you pretty much already know how this deal works. But you're basically going to slide this in until you feel the spring, kind of twist it around a little bit, and then just pull the line off. Fairly simple operation. Take yourself 5 or 10 minutes beforehand. Get yourself some Kroll or some sort of penetrating oil. Soak it pretty well. So let's go ahead and show you the old unit. Now, here's my old one. You can tell it's already starting to rot out a little bit at the bottom there. You're going to go ahead and swap out the pressure switch. The low pressure switch goes right on top of there. The new one already gives you the port and the O-ring for it, which is pretty cool. Also, there's your part number right there, guys. Now, removal of it's not really a big deal. You got an 8mm bolt that pretty much holds it in place. Take the time once you're all said and done, clean that up, maybe some copper anti-seize on that girl. Make sure she's going to go back in good for you. Back on the truck side here, you'll see that little slot right here where all that rust is. That's basically going to slide in there, in and out, and then you can pretty much pull it out. Watch your vacuum lines, don't break them, just pull them apart. And there is your line going into your evaporator, and here's your line coming right out of the compressor. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and put it all back together, lubricate all your O-rings with PAG oil before install, just so you don't tear them, mess them up, and it gives a O-ring a little bit more life. And then we're going to go and charge the system, and then we'll take a look and see if we've made any improvements on our AC system. Alright, so in that time frame, my vacuum pump, what you guys seen there, that little pneumatic pump, can only pulled it down to about 18, 19 psi. So we're a couple minutes into a hold. Thought we'd go over some things on the install on the accumulator. Alright, so first and foremost, just kind of like what you guys would think, you go to an aftermarket store, grab an accumulator. The picture on the old advancedautoparts.com looked very much like the factory one. Well, guess what? This one is about an inch or so shorter. So that lower clamp right here, if I get my hand out of the way, is not exactly holding this whole girl in that great, but it's holding, so hopefully this thing doesn't blow off going down the track. Everything's put back together, tight, holding well. The low pressure switch, this is basically a 16 millimeter wrench, box end wrench. This is all plastic, so be careful, and again, when you buy these, they do come with new O-rings, so at least there is that benefit. Also, when we're charging these, so right here, if you still have your factory radiator support here, there you guys go, 1.75 pounds or 0.795 kilograms. So you have multiple options there. Obviously, you can buy a couple of the small cans, use a can tap, and just charge it that way. You can kind of get it in the ballpark after you get about a little over a pound. Then at that point, kind of add it there. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and put this thing, charge it by weight, and then we're going to check it, and hopefully we're good. Alright, so far about 37 on the low side, about 280, 290 on the high side. Let's take a look at the in-cab temp. Alright, so right now in the cab we are roughly about 55 degrees, 54 degrees and going down. That is on the second to last fan speed. Again, you guys go higher with this and it's just basically going to start blowing warm air. So far it's not horrible. It feels good coming out the vents, especially on an 88 degree day. A lot of humidity today, of course. Welcome to Maryland. Alright guys, so what I thought was going to be a kind of a fix really wasn't our fix. I really don't think it's even a fan clutch issue, because even under suspected load, it still doesn't really drop the high side pressure as much as I thought I would. So even at 13 to 1500 RPMs, you don't really see the high side pressure drop that significantly. So we're probably into a condenser at this point. But this was kind of a cheap option. I know it had never been replaced, and it gave me an opportunity to drain out the system, and at that point check and see where we were at, top it back off, check pressures again. It's better than what it was, I'll tell you that much. We're at high blast right now, where we are in the low 60s. If I go down one fan speed, it'll be into the low 50s, so it's just, the high speed is just killing the cold air. So we're going to go ahead and leave it off there. Do what you guys always do, like, share, subscribe, peep up the world. If you guys like these AC videos, if you want further troubleshooting into AC, leave a comment down below. Maybe I'll put another AC video together, and we'll just keep diving into this old second gen, doing little odds and ends. See you guys in the next one.